Virginia. Hello, Jean.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Laura. You got background backlight on you, Laura.
Yeah, it's my window.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can turn a light on in here. Might help. Where is the clicker for this?
So just give everybody a couple of more minutes here to see who else is going to join us.
I think Andy's coming.
I was just going to ask you. Here comes Walter. I don't know how long he'll stay. Yep, there's Walter.
Hi, Walter.
Hi, Walter.
Hello.
Here's Anita coming in.
Oh, look at your background. You've got a little background there.
Yep, I put in a little special virtual background.
Neat.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Finally figured out how to do that. That doesn't mean I know how all of this works completely, so hopefully I won't lose anybody.
I did a lot of Zoom meetings while we were doing at-home learning, right?
Oh yeah, that's how they were doing the at-home learning. Was it, Laura, through Zoom?
Well, that's how we were doing our meetings.
Oh.
I didn't use video. I just didn't want them seeing my house.
No.
I did mine through audio with the students, and also, to be honest, during the online learning experiment that we had, none of them were on at any given time.
No.
No, they weren't all on at the same time.
Oh,
now,
okay.
what we're going to be doing now, they're going to have to be, because they have to be technically in class.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, we do two classes of 15 students. And then they go home because there's no lunches or anything like that, because they don't want them to take the masks off.
Right.
And when they go home, they finish their online learning.
Okay. So are they going to split the day then? So many kids come in the morning and then another shift in the afternoon?
No, they're just doing 2 periods a day, and they're shifting every other day, as far as I know.
Okay.
That was the model that the Toronto District School Board was going on.
Yeah,
and
that's what
we
I heard.
usually do what they do.
Laura,
okay.
I'm sorry. Laura, have you had training for delivering online?
No, I'm an experienced teacher, so when they threw it in my lap in March, just after March break, I just rolled with it.
Gotcha.
But we talked, we had little meetings, we had Zoom meetings with the English department, and we tried to say, what works.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe if I shift my computer a little bit, you'll be able to see me better, so that I don't have the backlight. There we go.
That's a little better.
That's a little better, right? And then I just have my little lampy lamp here, my little art lamp. So when I do art, I usually have that on.
So
should we be in gallery view?
It doesn't matter, whatever you like the best. I'm in gallery view right now, but if we get a few more people in, your gallery view is not going to, I don't know if you'll get everybody in, if it just makes our screens go a little smaller. What do you know about that, Laura? If you're in gallery view and you see everybody up there, the more people you have to get them all on, it'll be smaller screens?
Yes. When we did staff meetings, half of us couldn't be in picture because it would freeze. Because we had nearly 100 employees, right?
Wow.
With EAs and teachers. I'm a big school. We have nearly 1,600 kids and full attendance. Now, of course, with half kids, we still have 800 kids in our school at any given time, right?
Yeah.
It's a big school, and we have 10 portables, but I'm not using portables because they're badly, there's no air in there, right? The whole point is it's supposed to be, air.
Yeah.
So that there is, I'm going to stop my thing from going here. That'll help too.
Okay. So we'll just another minute or two just to see who else is going to join us, but I thought I'd go over first how I see this working. Because there's so many of us, if we all start to talk at once, your screens are going to go nuts, right? Because you'll notice right now, if you're in gallery view, whoever is speaking, there's a little border around their picture. And if you're in the speaker view, it'll switch to whoever's speaking. So what it does sometimes is there's a delay, and if two people start to speak, it'll take it a moment for it to go over to the one that's the principal speaker. But what I can do is when we start getting into this is I can spotlight the speakers, which means that we will see in the center of your screen in much bigger format the person who's speaking at that point in time. You can't do the spotlighting. I can because I'm the host, and I'll turn it off and we go that way. I debated on whether or not I should mute everybody's microphones when they first come on and then unmute you when you want to speak. But I didn't do that for a couple of reasons. That's good if we have somebody who's giving a presentation or something. Then if we mute everybody else, any noises in the background won't kick in and make the picture change. And I'm on another site where what the lady who hosts that on the Quilter's Way, she usually has a little instruction at the very beginning, so she mutes us all automatically, and then we unmute ourselves. But I've left it wide open for that just to see how that's all going to work, because I hate to kind of make it look I'm shutting you up. Because that's not my intention. Okay, so I thought, since this is our first time doing this and I have no idea how this is going to work, that I thought we'd start off with maybe just some introductions, because I mean, I recognize names on here and I do recognize some faces as well, but this may be the first time any of you have, you know, ever seen each other or whatever. So I thought we'd just find out, and I'll do it in a very school teacher manner here, okay? And I'm going to start with Virginia. So Virginia, just tell us who you are, where you're from, and name what your favorite craft is, if you have a favorite craft. And I'm going to spotlight you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm from Cincinnati. I'm married. I have 2 children, older, and 2 granddaughters. And I think my favorite passion right now is quilting. I've got a sit-down quilter behind me, and that's what I was going to work on today.
Okay. I have a question for you, Virginia, about your quilter. What did you say the name of your quilter is?
It's a handy quilter.
Oh, it is a handy quilter. Okay.
And it's called a Sweet 16. It's got a 16-inch space in it. But I like it because the way it's situated, I like the view that I've got of everything. I don't have to deal with looking at the sewing machine while I'm doing my quilting.
Yeah, because I've been looking at long arms and things like that. And long arms, you know, are extremely expensive. And especially what I'm looking at, because I'm looking at, you know, one with the computer part on it, and the computer part alone is $10,000. And those ones, of course, don't take a computer. You have to do it yourself, right? So
Yes.
So basically the advantage of having that one is it because when you're doing your free motion quilting or ruler quilting, it's just you got the more space to put the quilt out on and manipulate it, as opposed to having to go underneath a throat off to your side. Is that
Right.
Am I right about
Right.
that?
It was cheaper. And a funny story, my husband was in the bathroom and he didn't have any reading material except for my quilting magazine. And so he was reading the quilting magazine and saw the article about long arms. And he said, you know, Virginia, you should have a long arm. And I thought, well, he doesn't know how much they cost. So I jumped on it and I said, you know, I would like this big sit-down machine with a large cabinet, and it's done everything that I want it to do.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know, because I don't know if I'll ever be able to. Well, the other problem with getting a long arm is, where do you put it? You have to have a spot for it. Oh, here comes Andy. Okay, well, thank you, Virginia. So I'm just going to take you off the spotlight there, and let's see who else is next here. I'm just giving you a second here. I'm manipulating controls. So, Jeannie,
Hi.
you're on Spotlight. So,
Hi.
who are you? Where are you from? And what's your favorite craft?
I'm Jean Eubanks, and my nickname is Jeannie. I'm from Fairfax, Virginia, and my favorite craft right now is quilting.
Okay, another quilter. So, do you have a Sweet 16 or a long arm, or?
No, I have I have a Bernina, just a regular Bernina, so I just push stuff through.
So do you do free motion or walking?
I'm learning free motion. I do a very mediocre job of free
Yes.
motion.
Yeah, that's the same with me too. I'm trying to learn free motion, but
How?
yeah.
Because we needed everything.
Okay, who's talking?
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, we're getting in on a private conversation with Laura.
Not right now, but I will. Right now, but I will.
Hi,
Well,
Laura.
I've
We're
got a
listening to
Zoom
you.
call, and then we're going to be having a Dr. Charche call, and after that. Okay?
Hi, Laura.
Yes, please. I just didn't want to bother you.
Oh, but you can put your microphone on mute too when you have anything to talk about that's not on here. Otherwise, we're going to know all your secrets. Okay, anything else you want to tell us, Andy, at this point in time?
No, I'm Jeannie.
Janet.
Jeannie, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I'll take you off Spotlight and we're going to let's go to Laura. So Laura on Spotlight. So where are you from,
Hi.
Laura? I
I'm
know
from
Laura
Ottawa,
well.
Ontario. Canada. I live in the same city that Steve does. He lives much more north than me. I live very central, but same city. It's not that large, but you know. Anyway, I'm in my little corner of my craft room. This is actually in my bedroom. But I do all kinds of crafts. I don't do sewing, but I do cards and mixed media. And I just started making some little books. And today I'm just going to do some backgrounds with my Jane Davenport series. I'm a big fan of hers and follow her on Facebook and stuff like that. So I work with a lot of her mixed media. And then I just got a Cricut that I don't know how to use yet. So I just got.
Which Cricut did you get?
Cricket.
I got the brand new Maker.
Good luck with that.
Yes, I'm still learning how to use it. I've only made one card on it. You know, like a little flower design card. It turned out okay. It kind of stuck to the mat a little bit more than I was thinking it would. But, you know, I'm learning.
Okay, so the reason I said good luck with that is I've had a Cricut Maker since they first came out with them, and it's my third Cricut machine over time. And I love it. It's the best machine yet. I use it for all kinds of things. But what I'm having trouble with right now, me and machines, it's the rotary blade. That's why I got it, so it will cut fabric for anybody who's not familiar with that. I can't get it to cut fabric. It cuts into my mat. I've adjusted the settings. I mean, I'm not an amateur to Cricut. I've had them for years, so I know all about that. And even when I try to calibrate the machine, it digs right into the special mat for fabric, and it won't cut my fabric. It rips it up. So I've sent out a letter to the company because right now they have really good customer support, but right now during all this COVID stuff, they're behind by 1 or 2 weeks, and you can't go directly online for a chat with them, which is the way I prefer to do it. So I have sent them an email. I got an automatic reply back that they're looking into my case, like they've got the number, so I just have to be patient. But I don't know. I mean, I don't cut fabric that often with it because I find it's okay if you're just doing occasional work, but if you're a quilter or you want to do appliques, usually we have faster ways to do that as quilters than the way it does it on the Maker. But you're saying stuff is sticking to your mat. Here's a tip. When you get a new mat out, press it up against your clothes.
Oh, really?
That
So
will
if that's the problem, it's too sticky?
Yep.
Because it's new?
When they're new, they're really
You
sticky.
can also buy low tack mats.
Yes, that's true. You can
buy
buy a
low
low tack.
tack mats.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you
well, these are
stick
the
on
ones
something-
that came with the machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, it'll eventually not be that tacky, but your first few projects, you'll find you're probably tearing them off your mat.
Yes.
Because it is so super tacky. But a low
The very first
tack
one
mat,
I did, yeah, that happened.
yep. But the little lint off your clothes kind of takes away that initial tackiness. It still will be tacky. And when your mat stops sticking, take a baby wipe. But now there's all kinds of videos about different ways to do this.
Yeah, I've been
If you
watching
take
a
a
lot
baby
of
wipe, just take a baby wipe, scrub the crap out of it, and let it air dry for about an hour. All the stickiness will come back.
Cool.
So you don't need to scrub it under a faucet. You don't need to dish soap on it. You don't need to put anything else on it. Just use a baby wipe. It'll work like a charm. That's
Yeah.
what I've had luck with.
Anyone who does crafts has lots of baby wipes around.
Oh yeah, that. Okay. Thank you, Laura. And now let's go to Walter. Is he on mute?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
this
Walter Stevens' partner.
husband.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Been married for 15 years. Jeez.
So, I used to do stained glass a lot. And then Steve started into sewing. So then he got me hooked on sewing now. So now I've been trying to do garments and I do some embroidery as well. That's
And-
about it.
And look at his sewing room in there. He's got 4 machines. He has a 6700P Janome. He has a 550E embroidery machine. He has a serger and he has a cover stitch machine. So do you think he's a little obsessed? He's making clothes now too. He's making men's shirts and men's shorts. So
Got,
show them.
so far, these are my shorts.
Well, they're
I
not
got
quite
the
set.
zipper in.
Oh,
I got pockets.
Oh, nice
Good.
pocket.
But I'm waiting for the next class for us to go further. So
Yeah,
we
what do
still
you-
have the waist to go on and the belt loops. And I have to sew the back up.
Do you have one of your shirts handy?
It's in the closet.
Well, you're not.
Oh my God.
God, had to get out of the closet. We had too many clothes. We had to put them in. Is he coming back? The closet's not that far
Yeah.
away. Oh, here he goes.
Short sleeve shirt.
Nice.
oh, Walter, yeah.
And that's from Batiks, isn't it?
It's a batik, yeah.
Wow.
That's really
Oh.
nice.
Very
nice
nice.
job.
Oh, yeah,
Very
he does a
nice.
nice job. Hasn't made me one yet.
Yeah, I will one of these days.
Yeah, one of those days. I think that he's doing this all online. There's a guy in our area who about 2 years ago, he said to me he'd really like to get a sewing machine because he's always wanted to make like clothes and garments and stuff. And he said, "Where do you go?" So I told him about where I go to get my machines. So he came out of there with a machine, a couple of machines. Eventually, now he's teaching classes, and that's just in 2 years. And he's teaching
Wow.
them how to do the shorts and everything, and they're doing it through a Zoom each week. So, yeah, it's amazing what you can do. Okay, I'll take you off spotlight. And our next person, Anita.
Oh, hello, everyone.
You're up, Anita. Spotlight on you. So, where are you from?
I'm
Where are you from? What's your name? What do you do? What's your favorite craft?
okay. I live in very close to Dayton, Ohio, so I'm close to Virginia. She lives in Cincinnati, about an hour away. And my favorite craft, I like to paint, but I like to write. So
Okay.
I'm combining the two of those.
So, how do you combine the two?
Well, about a year, I like to read too. So last year, our local library had a summer reading book club. And the one I was in, we read, the books we read, they all had to have a food theme with them. You know, like one of them was a lady who owned a cafe and taught cooking. And, you know, the story revolved around all the people, you know, that came to her class, and it was a good novel. So I started thinking about all the recipes and things I've made through the years and what I grew up with. And so I sort of started just doing some watercolor illustrations and writing a story along with the recipe. So I've been working on it for a while. So I'm kind of doing that for my family.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, any other types of crafts that you do?
Well, I have done mixed media, taken several classes with some mixed media teachers. The only thing about mixed media is you have to have everything in the kitchen sink when
Yeah.
you're doing it. But mixed media, watercolor, I used to do, back before I got into watercolor and painting, I did kind of all of the work, needlework, crewel embroidery, cross stitch. My grandmother used to quilt. I grew up with quilters, but I don't quilt.
Hmm.
I just, yeah, I just didn't get into it. I love quilts, but I never got into that. And
Yeah.
I used to sew. Haven't done that in a long time. So, yeah, it's been mainly mixed media and writing and journals and yeah, that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, that sounds good. And that's why I opened this up to originally I was going to call this sew and chat, but I thought that was limiting. I thought, well, no, people do all kinds of different crafts and that thing. That's why I opened it up. And it's nice to hear that you're doing something like writing, because I don't think a lot of people consider writing necessarily a craft, but it is. And you're combining it with illustration and painting and all that kind of stuff. That's great. I can't draw. Wish I could. Okay, so I'm going to go now to who's next on my list. Here we go, Joanna. And spotlight's on Joanna. You've got a friend with you, Joanna.
Yep, I got Karen with me.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Hold on a second, I got
Unmute.
unmute. Okay. I
Yep.
had a little message I had to get rid of.
Oh, so
I
what are you up
sew-
to?
Well, right now I'm crocheting. I'm crocheting a bunch of little 2.5-inch squares, and then eventually I'll have a neutral color that I'll crochet neutral squares to go in between them. I found the pattern on Ravelry. It's really pretty.
So is it an Afghan then that you're making?
Yeah, it'll be an Afghan. I don't know what size. I have these minis that I bought in at a advent calendar a couple of years ago, and I'm using them up in this project. So
That's a good thing to do.
we'll see where it goes. I have quite a few balls yet to go, so we'll see how. I don't know how big it'll be.
So
The
Joanna,
person- Go ahead.
Joanna, I was just going to say, where are you from? I know you,
Oh.
but the other people don't.
Yeah. I now live in Falling Waters, West Virginia. I'm originally from northeastern Pennsylvania, but I used to live in Reston. So Jeannie said she lives in Fairfax. That's very close to where I used to live, so I know that area.
I did too.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, Reston's nice. But my daughter moved out here, so I moved out here to be near my daughter and the grandkids. Now they're all grown, and the youngest one is off to college.
And
So I have
Karen, are you?
three grandkids here, and I have a son who lives in Minneapolis, and I have a grandson there. And I'm dying to get on a plane, but I don't dare.
No,
No,
too
no,
early
no.
yet for that.
Yeah, too early after that, and I have a compromised immune system, so I don't know when
Oh,
that'll
no,
be.
not good, not good.
Not happening.
And so Karen, I take it you're probably from the same place as Joanna.
Well, actually, I'm from Hagerstown, Maryland, but Maryland and West
Okay.
Virginia are very, very close together. So we're about 20 minutes apart.
Oh, okay.
And we got together through a mutual group of friends, discovered that we both love quilting and knitting and cross stitching and all the same things. So,
Yeah. So it created a nice bond for now. We both are
Yeah.
just as careful, so we're in each other's bubble because we both
Bubble,
live
yeah.
alone. So this has really helped us keep our sanity.
Yeah, true. The bubble thing that we've got too.
Yeah,
Yeah, so far we don't have anybody in our bubble. There's just Walter and I in our bubble.
you got each other.
Yeah.
I got me and my cat. I needed somebody in my bubble.
Okay, well, thank
I don't even get real close with my daughter and her family. They live next door, but they both work outside the home.
Oh, you're right.
Now I'm trying to be real careful even with family.
Yep. Yeah, well, it's better to err on the side of caution.
Right.
Okay, that's great. We'll come back to you guys in a bit, but let's see
Okay.
who's next on my victim list. It is Janet. No, is it Janet next? Yeah, no, sorry, it's Pat. Then it'll be Janet. Hang in there, Janet.
And I just got my video back.
Oh, okay. Pat's not showing up on video yet. Okay, I'll come back to Pat. I'll come to Janet. Okay, there you go, Janet. So good morning, Janet. So where are you from, Janet? And what's your favorite craft?
Well, I live in Texas, in the southern, what we call the southern South Plains, and close, but kind of between Lubbock and Amarillo, and in a little town that grows a lot of pumpkins. And we have about 6,500 people in our county. And so it's not a big place at all. It's on the when you look outside, if you don't see a sunrise, you see the sunset. It's very flat. We grow a whole lot of cotton out here. And so it's really a rural area. As far as crafts, I've tried everything. Right now, I'm making a little quilt for a girl that's a good friend that's pregnant, and I've never quilted before. And it might get finished by the time her son is 2, 3, who knows. And that's about it. You've heard, what is it, Stephen, that you try everything, but you're a master of none. And
Jack
that's
of all
kinda,
trades, master of none.
yeah, that's kind of me. I really love to read more than I like to do anything else, and so that's a problem. And I have an oil painting of some aspens in my little work area that has been on there since probably 2 years. I just can't get in there and get it finished. It wouldn't take an hour and a half to finish it. So anyway, but I love crafts, and over the years, like the rest of y'all, it's kind of helped to keep me sane. And I have this sweet husband that lets me do this stuff, and he just gets the boxes off the porch right now and asks me if when we go to Lubbock, which is the closest town where we can really buy anything much, it's an hour. And every time we go, he'll say, "Are you sure you don't need to go by Michael's?" So, he's a sweetheart. So that's just about, well, I have 3 daughters, 3 granddaughters, and a grandson, and they're all getting old. And I'm sad I don't have any great-grands, but maybe someday while I can still hold them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were talking about, you've got a very supportive husband of your crafts, but I used to work after I retired as being a teacher. I worked for a couple of years at our local craft store, and I used to hear the ladies in there say, "Oh, can you put this in a different colored bag because I don't want my husband to know I was here." And someone would talk about hiding them in the trunk of their car for weeks on end and then sneaking them in the house or put them in the back of a closet. And I said, because they said, well, they always say, "Why do you need that?" And I've always said, it's not a need, it's a want. And
right.
Then some of the ladies would tell me, they would come back to the husband and say, "Yeah, well, you go out and you play golf, and that costs more money than what I'm spending on craft stuff." I don't know about that so much. I used to spend a lot of money on craft stuff. I think golfing would have been cheaper, but should never, ever have to. It's nice that you have a supportive husband, because there's a lot of ladies I know who don't have that support. And that's too bad.
Yeah, and it's a sad thing, but he's been very supportive in everything I've ever done. And we've done many things, and we've done them together. He farmed 40 years, and then we built an assisted living in our little community, and he helped me. We had that 10 years, and he helped me with that, and became the main. Everybody loved him, the staff and everybody. So I got to be the heavy, just like when I raised the girls. You know how that is.
Yeah.
So anyway, those girls, their dads can't do anything wrong. So.
Oh, yeah, of course not. Yeah. Okay, well, that's great. All right, who's next on here? I'll take you off spotlight, and we're going to go to Andy. You're up. So you'll have to unmute yourself, dear. Or no, I guess you are unmuted. Spotlight, yeah. Okay, you're okay. You're good.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Andy. I'm Jeannie's sister. You can probably see the resemblance if you look really close. I live outside of Chicago, in a town called Rolling Meadows, with my baby, Mitzi, who hates for me to do anything that does not include her.
Mitzi looks a little camera shy. Oh, maybe not.
She's a good girl. She's a good girl. I've had her almost 2 years now, so she's my best buddy. In terms of things I like to do, you name it, over the years I've done it. But I'm getting back into scrapbooking now because I'm scrapbooking Mitzi, and I'm also a new grandmother, so I'm going to do a scrapbook for that. And I love making cards and making mini journals. I've got 2 huge storage containers of the things, and I can't give them away. And I've gotten into sketching and watercolor. I'm doing nature journaling now. So
well, that's kind of neat.
Nice.
I can't draw. I wish I
I've been
could.
a long-time viewer of yours.
Yes, I know.
back in the old days when you were doing the mixed media stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, I still do that, but not as much. My heart, as you know, is in quilting.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But I still keep my hand in with the other stuff. And actually, I was going to talk a little bit about that later on. But so that's great. I want to ask you: where did you get your dog? Was your dog a rescue?
No, actually, I bought her. She's my first dog, and I thought about going with a rescue, but because I didn't have any experience with dogs, I didn't know if I would be good enough to help a dog that maybe had come from an abusive situation, having no experience.
Yeah.
So I decided,
true.
And I've always loved boxers, so I decided to go with her. But should I live long enough, the next dog will definitely be a rescue, because I'll be ready. I'll be ready for it.
Yeah. Cut your teeth on this one, so to speak.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see who's next here in the list. Pat, I still don't see a video. Can you hear us, Pat? Pat, where are you?
I'm hearing you.
Oh, wait.
You hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're on here twice. That's why. Oh, I don't know.
Because I had to, I conked out, so I retried.
Oh, okay. That's what was confusing me. Okay, so you're on the spotlight now. I know Pat because she's a member of our art journaling group that we get together twice a month. And so, Pat, tell us who you are for everybody else that doesn't know you and what you're into. I know.
I live right next door to Oshawa in Brooklyn, Ontario. And right now I consider myself a paper person. So anything to do with paper, ink, stamps, watercolor, but I can't draw. So I have to use stamps to get the lines or whatever. But years ago, I did do stained glass. And what I've been looking into this summer, and maybe in about a month, I'll have something to show, is art glass on glass mosaics. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen any, but you just like glue glass. Like if you have old picture frames and stuff, you glue pieces of glass or 3D objects, glass objects, and then you could either fill it in with resin or you can grout it and make beautiful pieces of art. So this is something that I'm just starting to do, getting away from my paper again.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Actually, Walter did a couple of tables for our patio a few years ago, which were mosaics, and they were pieces of glass put onto sort of a tabletop. And then I think he filled those in with grout too. He could tell us better how he did that. Walter, how'd you do that?
Yeah, well, what we did was we had a pattern, obviously, and we had a wooden table which we painted. We used the clear glass, or actually colored glass that was clear, right? But to enhance the color, we painted underneath. So like it was a floral pattern. So we painted, like if it was a blue flower, we used blue glass. We painted blue underneath it to give it sort of a brush stroke and a texture underneath it. And then pasted the glass on top and grouted it and then sealed it.
Okay.
They turned out
Yeah,
really
I've
nice.
just been like sort of reading. I've been just trying to read up on all the techniques to do the glass on glass, like whether I use silicone to glue the glass to the glass or that kind of thing.
So
There
maybe a
is
whole
some
new-
sort of glue that you can get, but I can't remember what it is is better for sticking glass on glass. I have seen things where I've seen projects where they've got glass on glass and like that somebody's been selling it. And actually it looks pretty cool. So hopefully
Yeah,
you
it is
really
beautiful.
get into there.
Yeah, I have a bunch of old windows. We took out the windows. We're in an old home here, and we replaced all our windows. So I kept all the mullioned ones, and I hope to use those to try and make some art. Yeah.
So Pat, just before I go on to the next person, I was going to do this a little later on, but I see them in the background. I think everybody would be interested. Show us the 3D cards, because those are cool.
Oh yeah. So these are kind of cool. They're oh, where's my camera? It's up here. They're 3D cards. This one doesn't have a back, but they fold for mailing. They're layered, and it's a die set by Spellbinders. They're tabbed, and you can just pretty well put your own little scene or vignette inside, depending what other dies, or you might do fussy cutting. You might stamp and cut. This is a Christmas one I did. This is, these are penguins, another one. These dies, penguin dies I just got from the magazine. But they're so cool because they fold. And then there's a couple of wedding ones. My neighbors become obsessed with these, so I've made about 5 of them in the last month for for graduations and weddings. So there's an example of some.
And Pat, who's the name of the designer? It's Becca something.
Oh, yeah, Becca Feakin, Spellbinders. So if you just Google Becca Feakin Spellbinders, you'll come up with them. She has a blog, lots of good videos. And if you're really, really interested, I can send you like some links I pre-compiled for our other group that just help you understand what they are. So
Actually, you can also buy them on Amazon.
Yeah, you can buy them on Amazon. If you're in the US, Simon Says Stamps is a great site. Things like that. I also make artist trading cards. I'm in 3 regular trading groups. So if anyone on this likes to trade and wants to do a one-off trade or whatever, I'm interested to trade. So, and if you don't know what an artist trading card is, and quilters do them, they make them out of fabric actually. They're 2.5 by 3.5 pieces of art. Here's an example. They're just like, they're sort of like little hockey trading cards. And they're just kind of fun to trade.
If any of you follow my vlog on a regular basis, you will know that in my art journaling group, I usually show each month because the ladies all create them and trade them. And I don't really make them. I don't know why. It's just something that's never really appealed to me. I think it's because they're so tiny. And I like bigger things. But they all give me a card when they trade them. So I have a bulletin board with all these cards on them. And it's really grown because I think I've got probably 50, 60, 70 of them. And they're really nice little pieces of art there too. Yeah. So that it's kind of cool. Okay, thank you, Pat. And let's go to Dana. Unmute yourself, dear. You're on the spotlight. So who are you? I know who you are, but and what do you do? What do you like to do craft-wise?
Craft-wise, well, if you look, hi, I'm Dana Lee Tisdale. I live in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. Only because my grandchildren are here. I am retired now, and I, as you can see from behind me, love to quilt, whether design patterns or use ones that I've seen on TV or on videos such as Dawn and Jordan. with Jordan Fabrics. And the one behind me on the left, maybe your left, the Goldie one, that is the product that I'm working on from Donna Jordan's double dipping pattern. This is just one half of the quilt in this, and the red and green one and cream is another one from Donna Jordan. I'm using Christmas fabrics, and this is one of the easiest quilts to make if you're a beginner or not, because you're matching things. But I have to make 16 blocks of what's behind me, and I'm kind of working on block number 2 and learning as we go along. And that is just made out of half square triangles.
So
way more complicated, but it's not.
no, it looks good. So Dana, behind you, I know what that is. It's a design wall. But those that aren't quilters, a design wall is where we stick up pieces to see how they're all going to go together before we actually sew them up. But what's your design wall made from?
Once upon a time, long, long ago, I bought, just a minute, I'm trying to think of what the name is, and I will get up and show you. Could you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a design wall by Fons and Porter. On the side that I flipped out, it's all shiny plastic, but it's got the grids on it. And what's on this side facing us is like a felt type fuzzy material, so that you can actually see the squares through it. And if you want to line up your quilt that way, the quilt patches or piecework, and it just sticks. It's very handy. It doesn't, sometimes it falls off if you put too many things on it, but I have put a 1x4 painted strip of wood into the wall. I have used the L hooks that you screw in, and it's being held up by clear plastic shower curtain hangers that you can go to the Dollar Tree or a Dollarama for, and I think they're now up to $1.25 or $1.50. But by having the clear, it doesn't distract. You don't even see it. And if I'm working on more than one, I can roll this up, or if I'm going to once upon a time, we used to have quilting retreats. And if I was working on something, I could just roll this up into a long cylinder and take it with me. And my pattern would stay on the surface, and I could work at it wherever I went.
Yeah, that's cool. I wish I had the space for design wall, but I don't. But I also know a similar thing that people have used, and I've used it myself too on a retreat, is one of those cheap vinyl tablecloths I get the dollar store, but they have one side is plastic and one side is like felt or flannel or whatever, and that'll work too as well. But I was really interested in the way you've got it hanging up there with that, and that's a great idea with the rings and that kind of thing. So I just wish I had a wall space big enough that I could put one on. My sewing room is only a little part of Walter's workshop, so I keep encroaching into his area with it. Okay, anything else you want to tell us, Dana, at this moment in time?
It's lovely to see you all, see some familiar faces, and I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you as we go through the introductions. And I'm going to make you a little dizzy for a couple minutes. I'm going to move my computer so that I can sit at my sewing machine and sew as we go
along.
As we go along. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's great. Well, you can do that, and I'm going to take you off Spotlight, and I'm going to bring up, oh, have I got everybody? I think I've done everybody. Yeah, I got everybody. I didn't miss anybody, did I? Nope, everybody's there. So now there's me, of course. Well, most of you know who I am. I've got a real combination of worlds here. I've got people from Stephen and Walter Live, and I've got people from my art journal group, and I've got people from the Quilters Way here. So it's kind of a cross thing. And well, you know what my favorite thing to do is, and that's quilting, but quilting and embroidery as well, but of course machine embroidery. However, I just got in the mail the other day, I ordered a starter hand embroidery kit. I'm going to try it because I've been trying my hand at doing the English paper piecing using hexagons, and I am not a good hand sewer. It's bloodletting for me because, so, you know, I have to pick a lot of red fabric so it blends in. But as I've been doing these little hexy things, I find that I'm getting a little better at hand sewing. I'm not jabbing myself as many times. So I thought I might give hand embroidery just a try, because sometimes, you know, you want to break away from your machine and have something that you can, that's more portable to use. So that's my theory anyways. I do have a couple of, now I have not left my roots. I started out as a scrapbooker back in 2002. I went off and visited a friend of mine. It was summertime. She was an elementary school teacher, and she had just come back from Europe. And she says, "Do you want to see my pictures?" And I said, "Sure." And actually, quite frankly, when somebody says, "Do you want to see my pictures?" I usually go, "No." In my mind, I go, "No." You know, pulling out the old slides. Let's watch the slides for 3 hours of stuff you don't really care about. But I was polite. I said, "Sure." And she pulls out this album, and I'm looking through it, and I wasn't so fascinated with her pictures. I was fascinated with the format, because I didn't know what scrapbooking was at that point in time. And there's all these nice little embellishments and things like that. And I said, "This is really cool." And she said, "Yeah, well, what's this?" "Well, it's scrapbooking." And I went, "Uh-huh." And then she says, "You want to meet the lady?" I said, "There's a lady." She says, "Yeah." She's into something called Creative Memories at the time. So any of you that have done scrapbooking may remember them. It was a whole system. So she phoned up the lady, and we went over to her house, and $450 later, I came home a scrapbook. Because I was in it for the gizmos. I love machines and toys and that. And that's what I did for years. And then I slowly made my way into journal making and mixed media and all that kind of stuff. That's weird. What's that? Feedback. So yeah, that's how I got into it. And then I bought the Cricut Maker. And when I bought that, and it had the rotary cutter on it, and they had a pattern for making a small wall hanging using the rotary cutter to teach how to use it, right? So we happened to be in Costco one day too, and they had a cheap Brothers sewing machine, about $200. It had 50 different stitches, little computerized, and I didn't know anything about sewing, never had any real desire to sew. So I thought, well, may I get that? I'll use it for crafting. I brought it home. I made this wall hanging, and then I decided, you know, I might like to do more of this. So I explored the world of quilting and found quilt stores and all kinds of stuff. And well, you guys know the rest. After that, one thing led to another. So that's my history. Okay, so what I thought, I don't know if people are prepared to do this or not, but we'll see. We already had Pat show us one thing, the 3D cards and that, but I'm just wondering if anybody's got anything that they're currently working on or something handy that they can show us, that they'd like to show us. We will not be critical of it. We're only supportive here. So anybody got anything that they'd like to show and share? I can show you something right now, just very quickly. I got to switch my cameras over, so hang in there with me for just a minute, because I've never really done this before, and I think I'm hooked up for it. So let's see. I may have to take off my virtual screen. Okay, are we going to work here? Go, start the video. Okay, come on. Cannot start video, failed start camera. What do you mean failed start camera? Okay, maybe I can't. Oh wait, this is the one I want. Okay, try that. Okay, now I got to take off the virtual screen. So just give me a sec, people. I will get this to work. I know I will. Okay, take off the virtual. And there we go. And
Oh, yeah.
you should be, oops, I just turned myself off. Okay, turn it back on. Okay, this is what I'll spotlight that. This is on one of my craft table, actually. So, two things. Oh, maybe getting feedback from my other camera. Okay, this I just finished. And if those of you that have been watching my vlog on a regular basis, you've seen this. This is the journal I did using Mike Deacon's Digi prints. And I like making hardcover journals. When I first retired, I got into this in a major way, and I made all kinds. And like somebody else who mentioned about journal making, they got a pile of these things, you know what to do with them. And so I do a series about each one of these projects. I've been doing them for the last couple of years, and I show you a little bit in each one of my vlogs. And then I compile all the videos together so you don't have to sit through all the vlogs to see every piece of it if you're interested. And now this is going to be my next project. Now I'm showing this to my art journal people on the weekend. I have this paper mache house, and it opens up.
Right.
And I found this box somewhere, and it's got a drawer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this. I'm going to decorate the house. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet in the box and everything. I'm going to put these two together. Then I'm going to put in little mini journals in this drawer that I'll design, and they'll be on different themes like travel, I don't know, whatever else you want to call them. But in this one, I'm going to put a bigger journal that could serve as a mini scrapbook inside the box. And I'm going to call it my book house, for lack of a better term. So I don't know. That'll be doing on my vlog over the next few weeks and that, bit by bit. So I still got my hand in doing mixed media. So I'm just going to switch my camera back around again and turn me on. I said turn me on. Why are you not turning on? Oh, that's because I want this one. Okay. Too many buttons to push here. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so anybody got something they'd like to share with us that we can see?
I do.
Okay.
I have a sweater that I've been
Okay,
just
let's see.
finished. Can you see it?
Yeah, that looks cool. So how
Really?
long is that? How long you been working on that?
Well, I knitted it once and probably 2 weeks, and it was way too big. So I ripped it out and knitted it again. It was in works for a while, but it actually fits now. And then I have one more thing I'll show you is a cowl that I worked on. I love the colors.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
So that's fun.
like that.
So have you been knitting for many, many years, Joanna?
I've been knitting, well, I tried it as a kid, but it didn't stick. I liked crocheting better then. But I've been knitting seriously since about 2009. So several years.
Oh yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
I tried my hand at knitting many, many years ago, and I just sucked at it. But my grandmother showed me how to crochet. I haven't crocheted in a long time, but I did quite a bit through my late teens and into university years and that. I keep thinking I should go back and do it again.
Yeah, I like crochet is faster than knitting, but I like the fabric you can get in knitting. So I kind of go back and forth depending on what I'm making.
They've got some really nice wool now these days.
Oh gosh, yes.
So
nice price tag to go with it too.
I kind of figured that, but and there's a lot of now. Here's something on YouTube I found. There are a lot of men. A lot of men are doing YouTube videos about knitting.
Oh yes, yes.
Mind you, a lot of them are gay.
I think we're getting an echo from you.
Yeah, I'm getting an echo. Just let me see if maybe it's my other camera's picking me up. Here, I'm just going to disconnect that camera completely and hope that works okay. Okay, so I'm not echoing now. So that must have been it.
Yeah, that must have
Okay.
been it.
Nope, there it is. Okay, that's not me. So it must back feed from somebody else's. I don't know. That's what we get in this technology. That's weird. Anyways, okay. So, and Karen, you have anything to show us? What are you working on?
Well, right now I'm working on a sweater. I don't know that you can. It's in the rounds right now.
You show your crossing.
And it'll have color work up at the top. And then you steek it to make it into a cardigan, which means after you sew it in the rounds, you cut up through the center and then pick up stitches and do a center band. And the other thing I have, is and I've been working on this for a long time, is a cross stitch thing. Here's the,
I'll open this up.
I saw this kit and I fell in love with it, even though I knew it would be. This is what it's going to be when it's finished, which is the cat and the sewing machine and all that.
Oh,
And that's going to go in my sewing room. And this is, wait a minute, this is what,
Oh,
that's what I have done so far.
Wow.
Wow, that's really cool.
that's awesome.
And this is taking years. But I
Yeah.
do think I'm going to get it finished.
And that's all embroidery, right?
That's all cross stitch.
It's cross stitch. Oh, okay.
Yes, and it's full coverage, which means, and then there's a lot of outlining in it as well. So this is very tedious, but you know, I enjoy it. It's something to sit down and work on.
Yeah. My sister's a cross stitcher too. And I just don't have the patience for that.
I
Okay.
find it relaxing. I also cross stitch. I find it relaxing.
Yeah, well, that's what my sister likes about it. I know that. She was a teenager. So, okay. So anybody else have anything they would like to share with us?
I have a scrapbook page.
Oh, let's see it. I'll put you on spotlight. Oh, cool.
Oh,
Cute.
oh,
That's cute.
nice.
I love the little, did you die cut the little embellishments?
This one was store-bought, but these I cut out from some pattern paper.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
sorry.
that's cool. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, do you have a die cutting machine?
Yes, I have the Sizzix and then the oh gosh, the Cricut Maker.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that I use
Yeah.
every once in a while. But I just finished another page the other day, and I have well, just to explain this a little bit. Sometimes I have trouble getting myself to do things that look differently. So what I did was I went through all my stuff and I put down different things on pieces of paper, like for example, metal tape, and I'm
Just a second. Unmute yourself, Andy.
it was going on mute by itself. I wasn't touching anything.
No, it was me. I keep hearing that feedback, so I don't know where it's coming from. So I muted everybody, and then I tried to remute you, but you have to unmute yourself.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Yeah. So anyways, we can hear you. And as other people come up to speak, just unmute yourselves, okay?
And I pick out 3 things, and that's what I have to incorporate in the scrapbook page. So that worked for the previous scrapbook page. This one, yeah. But it's still fun to try.
The reason I asked you what you had for a die cutting machine is because I've got a Big Shot and I've got a Spellbinders and I had a Vagabond. Vagabond was the Tim Holtz one and it's an electric one, but I had it for many years, but it finally gave up the ghost. Something broke in the gears inside of it, which can happen. with them. So that one's scrap now, and I'm not going to replace it because I don't use those as much as I used to. But I just bought a die to cut those hexagons I was talking about sewing together for the English paper piecing. And I bought an AccuQuilt die, which is a die cutting machine by Sizzix, but it's meant for quilters. But I was told or had read that the dies would fit in my Big Shot. Well, no, it's just a hair too thin. But luckily, my Spellbinder one, it would fit. So that was okay because it was an expensive die. It was like $70 Canadian. But anyways, yeah. But the Cricut Maker is still my machine of choice for die cutting.
Well, I really don't use it very much, actually.
Oh, no? The feature
No.
on it that I really like is what they call the print and cut. You can print something out onto your printer. Well, you have to go through a process on the Cricut Maker first, but then it will cut that right out for you, like fussy cut it, because it can read it. It's a little limited on the size that you can cut, but that's the feature I use the most. I really like that.
Well, I'd like to, I do want to try that with some stamped images.
Yeah, it'll work with stamped images too, which is good as well. Okay, so let's see. Anybody else got anything they want to show us or share?
I do.
Okay, Jeannie, all right. I got you on Spotlight.
Okay, this is my first baby quilt that I've ever made.
Oh, that's pretty, Jeannie.
Yeah.
Thank
They'll
you.
like that.
That's really nice.
And but what I'm proudest of is it's my first time doing mitered corners.
Ah. Yeah, know how that feels.
Yeah.
But you did a really nice job.
Thank you. It's hard to show it all, but
And did you just do stitch in the ditch for your quilting?
I did no, I did walking foot corner to corner, just going one direction.
Yep. Yeah, I do a lot of walking foot too. I like to use the serpentine stitch, the wavy one.
Yeah, I like that too. But this is a quilt for a baby boy, so I went plainer.
Yeah, like he'd know.
That's not for my that's not for my grandchild.
Yeah.
That's not for my grandchild.
Your grandchild's. I showed you your grandchild's quilt. It's a different one.
I don't remember.
Well, I showed you and Dale the other day.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It looks like we've got 2 new people joining us. Yes, so Audrey and Billy. Can you guys hear us? Billy's getting on her headphones. Can you hear us, Billy? Hello, Billy.
Hello.
There we go. You have to unmute yourself, yeah. And so, Billy, you're a little later, but that's okay. We've just gone through who everybody is. So can you tell us who you are and where you're from and what's your favorite craft?
I love quilting. I'm from the United States, close to Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
We've got somebody else from Texas here, too. And so what do you like to craft?
Oh, I love making quilts, and right now my little great-grandson's here wanting me to make plushie toys for him.
Okay. Have you ever made plushie toys before?
Yeah, with him. He's
okay.
Very creative.
Okay, great. Well, welcome. And Audrey is here. So we can't see you, Audrey, but we might be able to hear you. So can you hear us, Audrey?
I can hear you fine. Oh.
Okay, there you go. So Audrey, where are you from and what's your favorite crafting? Audrey, you still there? Oh, okay. Audrey's putting it in chat. She says, I can hear you fine. I do not have audio or camera. Okay, for today. I like to do machine embroidery and lots of other crafts. She's from Arizona. If you guys can, if you click on the chat button at the probably at the bottom of your screen, you'll be able to see what I'm seeing as well in terms of chat with Audrey. Okay, so that's great. I'm glad you could join us. Now, anybody else got anything they'd like to show us? Just go here to speaker.
David.
Yeah, Anita, just a second. I'm going to put you on spotlight. Okay. Oh, this is one of your paintings?
Nice.
Very nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. So is that watercolor or oil?
It's like distressing.
Oh, it's Distress Inks.
Oh, I don't know. I'm saying it looks
That's
like
pretty.
It's very nice.
He's still on mute.
Are you still on mute, Anita?
Yeah.
Anita, you got to turn your speaker on or your microphone on. Because I turned you off.
Yeah, you just got to click on the little microphone.
Can you see it?
Should be in the upper left. No, upper right.
Or it could be down near the bottom.
And the lower left.
Yeah, on my screen on the computer, it's in the lower left corner of your screen.
Yeah, same with me. There. I hear her.
Can we hear it? No, Anita's still muted.
I also heard that you can press the space bar and it will unmute you.
Oh,
Oh. Yeah, that worked. I just tried it.
oh yeah? Hit your space bar, Anita. Unless you're on an iPad.
There's a space bar on iPad.
Oh yeah, true, there is.
Actually, the space bar didn't work for me, but if you, I don't know if you're on a computer or whatever, if you drag you across the screen, you might be able to, it comes up with a mute or an unmute on mine.
I can't override it to help you.
It should be pretty obvious.
Little microphone. Red with a little line through it, like a Ghostbuster sign.
You might have to touch the screen, or if you're on a computer, move your mouse around, because mine shows up after I move my mouse.
Are you on a computer or an iPad?
You got it.
I think you got it now.
Oh, yep, you got it. Yay.
Sorry.
That's okay. That was my fault because I muted everybody, and I probably shouldn't have done that.
Oh.
Okay, so you said that you thought that was distressing?
It is golden fluid acrylics.
Oh, okay.
And it's on hot press watercolor paper. And the technique is you just start dropping your colors in and spray with water. And then you put real leaves down.
Oh.
You arrange real leaves, and then you take other things like saran wrap or cheesecloth or something with texture, and you put that down and on top of it, and then you have to let it dry completely.
Mm.
And then you take the saran wrap off and whatever texture you put on it, and then you decide where you want your dark value to be, and you actually paint around the leaves, like in the black.
Yeah.
And then when you're happy, then you actually take your leaves off. And what's underneath the leaf are the colors that, were left.
Yeah. That's a really interesting technique. That might be something my art journal people, I see Pat shaking her head. Yeah, we should give that a try, eh, Pat?
Well, yeah, it's great. You need a good area, and it's messy, and it's fun. But it does take a little bit for it to dry. And I like doing it. I like doing it in the summer. So this one, when I'm finished, is going to, I want to frame it, and I have a saying, a nature saying, I want to put in the corner, and I'm going to frame it and send it to my son in Arizona. And so, yeah, I had that one out. And then while we've been sitting here, this is really simple. I thought, well, we're supposed to be working on something. So I picked up this little Dollar Tree little thing for $1.
That's cute.
And I've just been painting that to sit on a shelf. But yeah.
That's cute.
So
yeah, actually, I was thinking that technique with the leaves that you're doing, if you were to use abstract shapes and that kind of thing and do the same thing.
Right. You can use anything.
And then you could cut it up into ATCs, right, Pat?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, that's great. Anybody else? Yeah. Anybody else got anything they'd like to share with us? Don't be shy.
What I've been working on, you can look at if you want.
Yes. We want to see. Spotlight you. Okay.
Okay. So, like I said, I was just making backgrounds in my Jane journal. So I have actually a Jane tattoo on it so that it actually has, one of those faces.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I have these, I just got a bunch of stuff from Australia because that's where I order it from. And these ones are like little daughters. And so I just made a whole bunch of dots on it just to get a background going. And this one, I just used some acrylics and I'm just starting a face there. So
can you hold the dauber up more slowly? I didn't see it.
That's okay.
Thank you.
So these are the little daubers. I can make these little dots here. And I was thinking of making a woman in a dress with it so that her dress would look all dotty. So they're from Jane Davenport. Everything I'm using today is from Jane. I have more Jane. I have more Jane things than anything. The face I just started it now while we were talking. I've been using these color markers for. So these are called storybook markers. Whoa. And you can paint over acrylic paint in them.
Oh.
So that's what I'm doing right there.
Right.
Now it's very bright colors, obviously. Sorry. So there's my face. And the inspiration for that face was your video about your mother's curly hair, that it looked like Elizabeth I. So there's Elizabeth I's hair.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing her nose now, and then I'll do her lips.
Nice.
Yeah. The hairdo on your figure there looks better than the hairdo does on my mother. Just saying. It was pretty scary.
I can't do eyes very well, so I stamped the eyes.
Oh, okay.
I can do a nose and I can do a mouth, but I cannot do eyes to save my life. I can color them in and everything, but I can't draw them. And I don't know why. And I took all those art classes in high school, right? But I can't draw. I can paint, but I can't draw. I like abstract anyway.
That's my drawing, abstract.
Yes. Well,
very abstract.
Just the background for today, and then I will create. I'm just creating a little, multicolor face right now.
Well, that's good. You really like the Jane Davenport stuff, don't you?
I love Jane. I watch all her videos. She posts daily. I order everything from Australia because most of it's not in the stores yet. These are brand new. These paint pens that I was talking about, and the daughters. They're not in stores yet, so I got them right off Jane Davenport in Australia.
So what's the shipping cost like?
She doesn't charge me shipping.
Oh.
Because I'm a repeat customer. And
that's okay.
She puts Australian chocolate in my boxes as well.
Oh. Little chunks of chocolate covered kangaroo.
They're little koala bears.
Yeah, koala bears. They're delicious. They have soft centers, furry outsides. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just used her paint to do the background that I'm working on right now. And I stamped with her little stamp ink here. I don't know if you can see it. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's called squid ink. Because she does
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of like mermaid things, mermaid themes. I can draw a mermaid too. I just can't do the face very well. So I just sort of usually just, you know. Pardon me?
What's that, Pat?
I think I saw some stencils. Like, does she do a lot of stencils with faces?
Yes, she does have face stencils. In fact, I did one of those before. Although this one kind of turned out like Celine Dion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a face stencil, and then I just colored in, of course, her and painted the background.
They're quite large stencils.
They're very large. This is her large journal. I have a small journal, and they have smaller stencils to go with it. But this is her large journal, so I use all the large things for it.
That's cool. So
Yeah,
actually,
this is a stencil, and I did everything else.
one of the advantages of ordering from Australia too, is in terms of the Canadian dollar, is that Australian dollar is usually about the same as ours or slightly less than our dollar.
Yes, it's a good
So-
deal, actually.
Yeah, and if you're getting
it
free
takes
shipping.
a while, right? It
Yeah.
takes about 6 weeks,
Mm.
especially a bigger package. So all this artwork that I'm working on right now was in one big box.
Mm.
And then I had a journal. I bought a journal from her as well, where it just helps you draw mermaids. I like mermaids, so she has this mermaid book. So that one took a lot less. That one only took 2 weeks to get from here, from Australia to here, because it was just a book. It was just a light book, small box, right? But my box that came from Australia with all this mixed media in it was quite big, and it took a little longer.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
You know Canada Post, right?
Oh yeah, well, true. Canada is, I think it's Dana calls it post and park or something like that.
Post and hold.
Yeah, with it. Okay, great. Take you off spotlight.
Yep, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Or are you the one who mentioned you have a Cricut, but you don't use it because you don't know
Yeah,
how to
I
use
just got the Cricut Maker about a month ago, and I've used it a couple of times. And I was making a card outline on it. So the third time that I made it, it was a little bit maybe too intricate for doing a first thing. It worked, and I got it off okay. But yeah, they're sticking to the page, and I have to rip it all off.
Point you to an online resource. She's called Jennifer Maker. She calls herself Jennifer Maker. Have you seen it? She has a really good Cricut PDF you can download instead of trying to figure it all out on your own. Pay the $20; it's worth it.
Yeah.
You have it. She keeps it updated forever, and it explains all the features.
That would be good, because what came with it did not. It was all online, and I didn't understand it.
Yeah, she brings it all together, and I actually purchased it. Now, she'll start inundating you with emails about other stuff, but it was that was what she started with, and it's really worth it.
I have seen her on YouTube, so the name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another good resource too is Melody Lane. She's she does live seminars every Saturday morning, I think, as well, and they're free. And she is the foremost expert on using the Cricut. She has probably 20, literally 20 Cricuts. She lives in Florida. Her house that she has in Florida, she has the whole living room and everything is set up as a craft room you would die for. In there, yeah. And but she's really, really good. And another one that's good, if you're into vinyl using your Cricut Maker, Tanner Bell, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't started vinyl yet, but I have a whole bunch of it.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff on vinyl, but those are two. Tanner Bell and Melody Lane are really good, and Jennifer Maker too, as Pat has said. I've watched hers. Yeah, as well.
Write this down.
But they're all good.
I've not heard of.
So, anybody else got anything they want to show us? Don't be shy.
Sorry, Steve, what was the other name? Melody Lane and?
Tanner Bell.
Tanner Bell, thank you.
Yep. or as Walter and I like to refer to him as Tinkerbell. But
Tinkerbell.
you'll understand why after you see his videos.
That's okay.
So anybody else got anything they want to show? I have a question. My question is, since we've all been in this isolation situation, has anyone started a craft they would never have started, or because they probably wouldn't have had the time before? Like, did you start something brand new that you'd never tried before and you wish you'd always had the time to do?
Yeah, my cricket.
Your cricket, okay. But to learn it. I told you about mine. It was the Hexies, the English paper piecing, trying that. I'm always trying new things anyways. It doesn't matter. I've got the time. I'm retired. I've been retired for 8 bloody years. I can do whatever I want whenever I want. So
I wish I could retire and not go back. I'm too scared to go back.
yeah, I was going to say, you probably are. I'm glad I'm not teaching anymore because I don't know how I would handle that environment now, given everything. Still a little unsure.
Well, I
on
got
that.
asthma. I just can't have this disease, right?
Well, no, nobody can.
No, I know, but you know,
Yeah.
I already have breathing problems as it is. So if I got it, it would be much worse.
Okay, so I have been avoiding talking about COVID and politics because this is a safe, calm place. We do that on Stephen and Walter Live all the time. So I mean, so here, no. So what I want to ask is now, like, this is the first time I have done this kind of a deal. So does anybody, if we were to do this again in the future, well, first of all, do you think it's worthwhile doing again in the future? And don't worry if you don't think it is. My feelings won't be hurt, okay, much.
Oh, I love seeing everybody else's work. It's just very inspiring.
I enjoyed it.
I loved it.
All right, because then I want to ask.
Enjoying it.
I also joined this group called Don't Give a Scrap, and we have Zoom meetings 3 times a week, and I really enjoy it. And so I think doing this again would be a great idea.
Okay. This is what I want to ask then about future content. This one was sort of like, let's get to know everybody and that kind of a thing. And I'm sure we'll have the next one we do, there'll be maybe some new people, but some things for me. First of all, how often would you like to do these? Now, my suggestion is, you do it too many times, it gets old and boring. Maybe once a month kind of a thing to start with. So I'm just opening that up to discussion. How do people feel? Do people feel once a month would be enough right now? I mean, given everything else that people are probably doing. I do a lot of Zooms on other different platforms as well with other people that host those. So it might be a little much for me
They're not muted.
more than once a month. But what do people think?
I think
So
I'll be working again.
yeah. So once a month?
I think once a month sounds
Once
good.
a month. As often as you want to do it is fine with me.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for now, I'll just make it once a
with me.
And what day of the week and time? Now, I can't do it on Sundays because I already have commitments on Sundays with Stephen and Walter Live, plus 2 Sundays out every month before Stephen and Walter Live, I do my art journal group. Saturdays are kind of, I know that would be good for people who aren't working, but the only thing with that is I never know on a Saturday like right now, I'm usually free, but I'm not so sure about Saturdays unless it was something like on a Saturday in the morning. Now, of course, we've got my time zone to think about because I'm in Eastern Standard Time. So, anybody who's living in a time zone that's not Eastern Standard Time, that might be a difficulty for them. So I like the idea of doing it sort of in the middle of the week, and I sort of like doing it in the afternoon. Evenings might be okay, but then people who are working, it'll be better for them, I guess. But then maybe you're too tired after you've been working all day to get onto it in the evening as well. So thoughts? I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, this is relaxations time. So whether I'm working or not, I still do something, right?
Yeah.
I still got to do something with my hands
So
when I'm
you're,
not giving students the finger. No.
yeah. So okay, let's start with, and I'm asking too many questions at once. So let's break it down. Would you like to do it on a Wednesday?
Yes.
Wednesday.
Wednesday's
Wednesday
good.
works. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wednesday works for me.
Good.
Okay. Okay, so try it Wednesday. Would you prefer it to be in the afternoon like we did today, like 1 o'clock, or in the morning, say at 10 o'clock?
One.
1
Afternoon.
afternoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say either works for me, so
Dana says
afternoon works.
1, okay, afternoon. All right. So for the next one, it will be on a Wednesday. It'll be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so the date for that would be, now to make this the easiest, what about if we do it, say, the first Wednesday of the month?
Perfect.
Great.
Because that
Perfect.
would be easy to
Perfect.
remember. Okay, so
Great.
next one will then be in September, and it will be September the 2nd.
Oh, I'm still off then.
Okay, so works for you. Okay. Okay, so Wednesday the 2nd, 1 o'clock will be our next meeting. I will send out, that'll be in the invitation, I'll put the invitation like I did this time in the show notes, and I'll be reminding you through the vlogs and Stephen and Walter Live, and on my Idiot Quilter. 3 different areas, I'll put that information in, so whatever you usually go into to find that out. But it'll be Wednesday, 1 o'clock, and that'll be at September the 2nd. Okay, content for our next one. Of course, if there's anybody new joins us in that group, then we'll just get to know them at the very beginning like we did here. But since we all know each other now, I'm not sure how people's computers are set up. Do we want to have a work session? For me, to do work while I'm running this, I can't, because I have to be at the computer to manipulate certain things. But what I was thinking is, what we do in my art journal group is somebody volunteers on each time we meet to demonstrate something, a technique or something they're working on,
That sounds
or
cool.
or a new product they've purchased, to let us know about that kind of thing. So I can do the first one to give everybody the idea, unless somebody else would like to show us something then at that time. It doesn't, also we'll have a show and share as well, which means, what are you working on now? Let's see it, kind of a deal, and talk about, what you're doing. So I guess what I'm asking is then for the content, break this down a little bit, I'm getting ahead of myself. For the next one, is there somebody that would like to demonstrate or a technique or a product? And if nobody's prepared to say so right now, which is fine, I can do something. That's not a problem for it. So want to just leave it for me to break the ice on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I already sort of did a little bit of that because I was
you
doing
did.
paint stuff.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll do that just to set the scene for the next one. And then everybody come with something they would like to show us. And I want everybody to feel very comfortable in this environment, that we're only here to support. We are not here, and I don't think anybody here would anyways, but we're not here to criticize what people are doing. We're learning.
They're doing so well.
Yeah.
So
We're learning and being supportive for
Yeah.
this. Okay, so having said that, I did mention in my show notes, or when I was talking about this on my vlog and everything, that I'm recording this session. And I want to post this on my YouTube channel so other people will see what we've done, and maybe others will come, they might be a little shy to come on. If they see that this is non-threatening, they might want to join us for the next one. Does anybody have any objections to me posting this on my YouTube channel?
Nope.
No.
Okay. I don't think we said anything that would get anybody in trouble. So we're good with that. Okay, so that's what we'll do. So just to recap, because I think we've been on for an hour and a half, that's pretty good with it all. Thank you everybody for joining for this today, because it was an experiment. It can only get better from here, but I think this was a pretty good start. And our next one will be September the 2nd, Wednesday, September the 2nd at 1 p.m. And when we get closer to that date, I will have the link in the show notes from my vlog, the Idiot Quilter episode, and Stephen and Walter Live. It'll all be in one of those 3 forms, and so you'll know what to link into. Okay, so I hope the rest of you all have a really great day and whatnot. Keep crafting, keep happy, keep healthy and safe, and we'll see everybody
Thank you,
in a month.
Steve.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Steve.
Stephen.
Bye.
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 Bye.